Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glorifications to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect. And this video is going to be a response to this notification I got on the ABC7 News app. Arrests made in deaths of LA model, her friend, who were each dropped off at hospitals. Arrests have been made in connection with the deaths of two women who were mysteriously dropped off outside of separate LA area hospitals after a night out, Eyewitness News has learned.
Breaking tonight at 11, two families have been waiting to hear this news. Arrests made in connection with a case of two women who lost their lives after a night out in West Hollywood last month. Eyewitness News reporter Christian Cordero has been following this story. She joins us live in West Hollywood with the breaking new information. Christian.
Well, Mark, the night started right here in West Hollywood. Both of those young women were out with friends that night about a month ago, and here we are now, weeks later. Both are dead. This whole time, their families have insisted that someone else is responsible for their death, and this news is the first tangible piece suggesting that that may, in fact, be true. The families tonight, from Close Family, they have confirmed that arrests were made for the deaths of Christy Giles and Marcela Cabrales. Christy was a model and aspiring actress who moved to Los Angeles from Alabama. Her lifeless body was dropped off at Southern California Hospital about a month ago, November 13th. The night before, she and Marcela were on their way to another party and ended up in an apartment near the Pico Robertson area. The last text Christy sent from her phone, as showed to us from family, was to Marcela from that apartment saying, "Let's go." With a shocked face emoji, Marcela said, "Yes, I'll call an Uber." And then she said, "It'll be here in 10 minutes. But they never got in that car. Well, Christy showed up dead hours later. Marcela arrived holding on to life at Kaiser West LA. She had moved to California 6 months ago and was working to become an architect. Marcela stayed on life support long enough for her family to fly in from Mexico and say their goodbyes. In a word, her dad told me he felt devastated. Marcela was taken off of life support November 28th, one day before her 27th birthday. Her family donated her organs. Officials have not clarified exactly who was arrested or under what cause, but this is one step that the family has really been waiting for. The LAPD is leading the investigation.
So I'm going to continue reading. The families of Christy Giles and Hilda Marcela Cabrales Arzola have each suspected foul play was involved in the deaths of their daughters after Giles' lifeless body was dropped off at a hospital in Culver City, and Cabrales Arzola was left unconscious outside a hospital in West LA back in November. Giles, a 24-year-old model and aspiring actress who moved to LA from Alabama, was dropped off at Southern California Hospital November 13th. So here it just tells us, what happened with the other girl. They just said her organs were donated and she had recently moved to LA from Mexico. Jan Cilliers, Giles' husband, confirmed to Eyewitness News that 3 people were arrested in connection with the deaths. Further details were not immediately available. And see, that was interesting to me. The girl from Alabama was married, but yet she was over here meeting up with people, most likely men, at weird hours. That's off, man. If she's married and she has a husband, she's not supposed to be seeing other men. That's wickedness. Family and friends claim the women were drugged against their will in an apartment in the Pico Robertson area after they first visited a club in West Hollywood. Family has said the last text message Giles sent from her phone was to Cabrales Arzola from that apartment, saying "let's go" with the shocked face emoji. Cabrales Arzola replied, "Yes, I'll call an Uber," and that it was 10 minutes away, but they never got in that car. A toxicology report for Cabrales Arzola stated heroin was found in her system. Officials concluded Gal's autopsy, but the cause of death was deferred to a toxicology report, which had not been released. The families of both women said that neither of them would have taken the drug willingly. Well, they willingly went to that location, so, I think they most likely knew what they were getting into. And I'm also going to play this video for further edification.
Target makes last-minute gifting easier.
So lock ear for this.
Shop with same-day delivery, free order pickup, or free drive-up, and leave with your list wrapped up. Order today, get it today at Target.
A Southland model dead, her close friend Marcella clinging to life, and now Marcella's family speaking out and asking for answers. What really happened to them? Eyewitness News reporter Christian Cordero joining us live from West Hollywood with the new information tonight. Christian.
Mark, Christy, Marcella, they were at the same party on last Friday night right here in West Hollywood. They were supposed to go to an after party, but their ride instead took them to an apartment nearby. For Christy, that was the last night of her life. Marcella, tonight, is fighting for hers. Two families from different parts of the continent tonight are united by a fate they do not want to share. Luis Cabrales flew in from Mexico Sunday and has been by his daughter Marcella's side ever since. She moved here for work 6 months ago.
I talk every day. She sent me a lot of pictures. Dad, it's me in my world. Dad, I miss you. I miss you all. But I am very happy to be here because I want to be a very successful architect.
Marcella and her friend Christy, a 24-year-old model, both ended up at a stranger's apartment early Saturday morning. The last text message sent from Christy's phone, according to her husband, who has access to her cloud, suggested she wanted out. "Let's go," she texted to Marcella from the apartment. Marcella said yes, called an Uber, and shared that it was 10 minutes away.
The girls nor any of the boys in the apartment ever came out to wave off the Uber, to address it, to ask them to wait. Nothing.
Their bodies turned up about 12 hours later, early evening on Saturday. Family says both were dropped off outside of different hospitals by men who concealed their identities and took the plates off of their car. Marcella showed up at Kaiser West LA, where she has since been in critical condition.
I feel devastated. I cry every day. We hope for a miracle for her, and I say sorry for her friend who's died.
Christy was dead on arrival at Southern California Hospital in Culver City. Her mom, Dusty, who spoke to us from her hometown in Alabama, has a gut feeling about how she died.
These men did something to subdue and keep my daughter in their apartment for 10 to 12 hours.
They want the LAPD to investigate Christy's death as a homicide. The West Bureau says their work is ongoing. So tonight, the families wait, one for a sign of life, another with questions that right now only Marcella can answer.
I hear she's a fighter, and I want her to make it through so she can tell us what happened with our daughter. And I pray for her family greatly.
The coroner has deferred the cause of death to the toxicologist, which could take weeks as far as Christy's cause of death goes. Now, Marcella did get a preliminary cause of death or a preliminary toxicology when she was admitted into the hospital. It did show heroin in her system, but here's the thing: family, including the husband of Christy, say that neither of those women would have done that willingly. So lots of questions still to be answered.
So, yeah, there it is. Judgment. 1 minute there, you could be living your best life, and before you know it, you're out of there. So now I'm going to jump to the scriptures. First, I want to get this. Ecclesiasticus 26:10. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. And that's what happened with these young women. They They abused themselves through the liberty they had of to, so-called the girl from Mexico, she was trying to seeking a career as an architect here. The other girl was trying to be a model, an actress, which she could have done that over there in her home state, right? But L.A. Hollywood is considered like the hub for that, which it's promoting wickedness either way. And she was married. She had no business seeing other men, and they got judged for it. Also, I want to get this. Wait, no, Salakia. Before I get that, I want to get this. Job 4 and 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Right, so for, the average person that sees this story, they might be like, oh, wow, that's so sad. These young women, they lost their lives in the prime of their life. But really, if you have the eye salve, those of us that have the eye salve, to see these spiritual things, you know that it was judgment from the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, because these women were going off, and this is why the Lord is to be feared. Roughly paraphrasing also, let me just grab it. Here it is. Romans 2 and 11. For there is no respect of persons with Yahweh. Right? The Lord doesn't care who you are. A little baby, a woman, a strong, powerful man. You can get it. As Jake says in the world, anybody can get it. Just like about a week ago in the area of Wilmington, for those of you that know where that is, it's a neighborhood near Los Angeles. Two little kids were shot, hit by, who knows if they were the target or not, but they were hit by gunfire. I believe like a 13-year-old boy and a 9-year-old girl. The little boy died, and I think the girl was injured. She lived, so that's just more judgment. That's the times that we're in. And if you've been being up on current events, there's been a lot of judgment going out on these women out there on Eve, because this society, it promotes the woman to have more power than the man, to that feminist spirit, that Queen of Heaven spirit. Salakia. Yeah, these women, they have it better than men. They can just fucking be as wicked as they want, and they don't have to be subject unto a man. Like those two young women that, they had their career going for them. They're young and attractive. They know that guys are going to seek after them. But in the end, it came back and bit them in the ass. So I'm going to grab this as well. Micah 7 and 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And the mire, that's like mud, dirt in the streets. Like when I hear that, I imagine like a horse walking around trotting through like a medieval or ancient town, where the road are dirt, or stone, and it's all dirty and muddy. That's how you women are going to be in the judgment of these last days. You're going to get trampled on. That could be metaphorically or literally. And I'm going to end off with this. Ecclesiasticus 26 and 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. Right. And these two chicks, they didn't fear the Lord. The one was married, meeting up with other dudes. How, I don't know what was going through that guy's mind, to allow that, but who knows? That's That's how cucked out some dudes are, I guess. That's why we got to get the fuck out of here, man. And also, this is why it would behoove, you women out there to fear the Lord. And even men, this is why the Lord needs to be feared, why you should try your best to stay within the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And we know we can't keep everything. Don't be too over righteous. Like, for example, the mixed fabrics. A lot of clothes, it's a mixed cotton and polyester. Sometimes you may have eaten pork, at one time in your life. And we know that's why we want that forgiveness from Yahweh Shai, because we've all gone off. We've all done things, right? Even that are worthy of death. But there's a lot of people here, they just plain don't care, and we don't know if these women knew about the truth, they knew if they knew about the Israelites, if they even know anything, about the Lord or about the scriptures. But I'm pretty sure the one that was married, she knew that was off, man. What she was doing, she had heroin in her system. She most likely took it willingly. And the other chick, she was so ambitious. She had just recently moved here from Mexico. I don't know what her life was like in Mexico, but it seems like, they had some type of money for her to be able to be out here living on her own. Her parents just flew in, no problem, and that's just the judgment that's gonna come on you worldly people out here. So that's pretty much all I had on that. Lord willing, it was edifying. And once again, I'm going to end off by giving all praises, honor, and glorifications to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom. Abad Babal.